Alright, everybody, we're out here in Johnson Valley doing a little shakedown with TT number 6. Got pre-runners prepped and ready to go, so we're going to do a final shakedown here in the truck. Got myself, Dan Myers, I got my co-dog Pete in town, so we're going to get this thing warmed up, shake down, make sure everything feels good, and then it's off to Mexico we go. There's Pete just looking fucking...
No one bumped you, right?
Nope. There's only so much that we could do to balance that back out. Too much front brake because it still feels a little pushy. So since the Baja 400, we had a couple things we wanted to change about the truck, namely the suspension. Overall, the truck felt pretty good. Danzio just freshened up the motor for us, and it feels strong, which I'm very happy about. We got over 1,300 miles to punish this thing, so feels strong for all that. And also too, we were just a little on the soft side for suspension at the last race. We made some adjustments with John Hoffman, so on a baseline for where we're at, very happy. So now we're just doing some fine tuning. So now I'm doing the other part of my job, which is coaching. So I'm gonna sit on my not favorite side, which is the right side of the truck. All right, we had a solid day testing out at the lake bed. We're back here at the shop, got to get loaded up. I just want to do a walkthrough on my pre-runner before we get down there. It's gonna be our Chariot for the next week up until the race. 2023 Turbo R from Polaris. It's an amazing car out of the box, but we did a few things just to kind of, you know, help with what we're doing down pre-running. Harley is very excited about it, if you can't tell. We upgraded the studs, ran longer studs and race lug nuts that have a better seat to the wheel. This gives a better load dispersion, and the studs themselves are a little bit stronger. So TRP makes this kit. It's awesome. It helps give you a little bit more girth here on the drive plate, and also gives you a longer ARP wheel stud, and allows you to run these race lug nuts and gives you a little bit more grip length. So if you're running aftermarket wheels, this is going to allow you to use a variety of those, but it's also going to give you a little bit more strength on the back end. Haven't had any issues with the stock stuff, but this is definitely something, we're driving these things hard after miles and miles. This is definitely something that I would recommend to anyone who's upgrading their Turbo R or Pro R. This is offered by TPR. Make a handful of stuff for your motors and everything else, so give them a look and see what they can offer you. And while we're back here upgrading everything, ZRP makes this amazing kit. It's all billet aluminum, anodized, looks awesome. This is their rear stimulus package that's on here, so it's got properly shanked bolts that go throughout the entire rear end of the car. On top of that, ZRP has also created this toe link bar down here that has a better adjustment up here towards the front. Stock, you have a cam lock bolt that can get knocked out of place by roost. This, however, allows you to be able to change it without having to take a bunch of stuff off, get the car square and towed in just the way you need to. This car has been amazing, like I said. However, we're doing some of these things to just beef up what we're doing, because, to be honest, I'm not easy on equipment. That being said, we want to protect it, so we've created larger mud flaps for the front here. They're going to protect everything from getting sanded off. We're running this larger mud flap, so it's something we'll be offering out of the shop here pretty soon. So we're trying a couple different things to make sure, one, they're not getting tied up in the wheels, and making sure that it's got enough surface area to cover everything that we need to in the back. Now, as far as packing one of these things down, obviously we got a 4-seater and a 2-seater. You can't pack as many things. We want to spread out the load as best we can. So in here we have from Anonymous Off-Road. They make a click-in that works with all Milwaukee pack-out stuff. It allows me to clip everything into the car without using any straps. If anyone's used anything where they have to strap anything into the car, these things make it super easy. I'm not endorsed by Off-Road Anonymous, but they do make some awesome stuff, and it's made it great for me to use this Milwaukee stuff. So anyone from the Milwaukee department, if they want to sponsor me, you might be taking one of your best customers off the market, but I do buy a lot of your guys' stuff. As far as the rest of the cars, we work up to the front. Everything's pretty standard inside. Down at the 400, my car's always the last one that gets touched, and unfortunately I did forget something very important. That would be mirrors. And camera's still chasing me for what I think was about 4 miles, but it's stretched now the story to about 37 miles. He was chasing me. I pulled over to the side. Once I finally realized he was there, he threw his hands up, but I guess he was having a fun time watching me go. Speaking of being able to see, we got Baja Designs lights. For me, my section is going to be 100% at night. Up here we have the LP4 kit. These things put out an immense amount of light. For how easy this kit is to install, Baja Designs has done a lot of work to make sure that these kits plug in flawlessly into anything that you guys have. So for this thing, comes with its own wiring harness, the mounts, instructions on where to put everything. So even if you're not super well versed in doing this stuff, it's very easy to set up. Another thing that's very crucial that you do is these lights on their own will project light out to the inside. So make sure that you do install these caps to the inside. Otherwise, these lights are going to blare out the area in the center of your hood, and they're going to take away from your eyes adjusting to the light that's being projected out in front of the car. So as for the rest of the car, we got an LSK cage and doors on there. Even though these manufacturers have gotten a lot better about the stock cages that they are putting out there, I always recommend putting on something aftermarket with a proper wall thickness in case you do end up upside down. That going straight into speed zone, or is that?
No, this is all speed zone.
Look, I know you guys are talking about some important stuff, but what's up with the hair picks? You guys don't even have hair.
Well, the reason why you want to keep an afro pick really close to you is down in Mexico, especially in the section that we're going to, there's a significant amount of cactus on the side of the course. So with these tires, when you run things over, they tend to fly up into the air and typically come through the cab, and your first response is going to be to try to grab the cactus and get it off of you, and now your hand is completely full of cactus. In the event that you do get cactus on you, let's say I had a cactus ball stuck here in my arm, I can slide the afro pick underneath the cactus and fling the cactus out of my skin, so now I can then go and individually pick out whatever's left or still stuck in my skin without putting needles through the palm of my hand. So although, you know, maybe I could pick my beard out since it's longer than the hair on the top of my head, but you know, when you see an afro pick in someone's car, that's what it's for. So you get away, like for a while, you go down to Mexico and people are like, oh yes, no rules or anything. But then after San Felipe, it's nice to be able to just throw a hat on and a headset. Rugged makes some really comfy ones. But you know, for me and Pete, we were talking about this, like we go pretty fast in this thing when we're pre-running. Can't always predict what the locals are gonna do. So I called the people over at Bell, hooked me up with a carbon HP10. I mean, it'll look cool, very comfy. I have a big head. This thing makes my head look even bigger. If you don't have a $10 head, so don't buy yourself a $10 helmet. All right, ready for takeoff. Just throw that thing down. You think anyone wants to mess with me when I'm wearing this thing? I don't think so. It's all business. I'm excited to get down to Baja. Thank you guys for tagging along, and we'll keep you updated. All business.